I don't know if I'm just making this up or if it's just my intuition, but I have this feeling that the guy I'm seeing at the moment, he's getting off and having his little ego stroked by the fact that his housemates have heard us. I don't know if it's legit or not, but there's just some things that I'm just questioning. Like, he never tells me if there's other people in the house, and he never tells me to keep it down or anything like that. And when I ask, are there people here? He'll say no at times, but then there are. And then when we go downstairs, they kind of make these weird eye contact with each other and they're like, And it's a very boy club because it's a bunch of dudes living in a house together. And he seems insecure, like it seems like it's like an ego thing, but I'm not too sure, but it's weird.
So I just watched a video of a girl where she said that she got very humbled because she went on a date with a guy, and she said on the text messages he was very flirty. In real life, when they met, he wasn't as forward, and that the date went really well. She said they were out for 2 hours, they went for a walk, they went for a coffee, and then she said she bluntly just asked him, why is he more flirty on text messages than he is in real life? He then humbles her and he says, I think you're a very pretty girl, however, you do look a little bit different than your pictures. That's my opinion now, but I have enjoyed our date, but I do think it's more of a friendly vibe. All the comments are roasting this guy, being like, oh, but he's a walking red flag, you dodged a bullet there, and all this, right? I don't see anything wrong in what he's done. He's been very polite about it. He's went on the date with you, and you've asked him a question, and he's told you the truth. But because it's an answer that you don't want to hear, you then come to TikTok for loads of people to then roast this guy, when, fair enough, you haven't put a picture of him up, thank God, but he's done the right thing. Some guys, I've heard stories where they'll meet up with someone and they'll leave them in a bar or a restaurant. Some people I know have driven off from people when they've just been stood there waiting. That's the wrong way to deal with it. How this guy handled it, I think, was correct, in my opinion. And I know this because I once used to use a lot of filters on dating apps, and when I met up with a guy once, you could tell he was not interested at all. And then he texted me and he was like, I think you look a little bit different in your pictures. I was humbled. I never used proper full-on filters ever again. I might use like a smoother filter or a tan filter, but I never used one that made me look like a completely different person because I was humbled. And how that guy done it and how this guy done it was perfectly correct. So I don't know why, I just don't get with the comments why women are so against when people tell the truth.
The guy isn't always going to know when his flatmates are in the house. Perhaps they weren't there when he first brought her back to his room, and his flatmates could have came back afterwards. But at the end of the day, she's the one who's making all the noises. If she doesn't want it to be awkward, she could stop being so loud. It's almost like she wants the guy's flatmates to hear it. Lots of women are constantly guilty of hypocrisy these days. It's perfectly fine for a woman to tell a man she's not interested, or that she only sees him as a friend. But when a guy tells a woman exactly the same thing, he is called an asshole or a horrible person. It's not his fault she catfished him, and that he felt differently about her upon seeing her in person.
Well, it's her own fault.
Real men of genius.